We're running out of time in Uberak. How far are we from the exit?
Not far. We have entered the Upper Kingdom. The exit should lead us to the base of the glacier itself. However, there are still hidden traps and pitfalls to account for.
Take cover! Arthas! The entire passage collapsed. There's no time to dig through this. I'll have to move quickly and find my own way out. Hopefully Anubarak and the others survived. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. I'll be singed if I get too close to those flames. Finally. At last. Finally. I'll need this gold for when I reach the glacier. I'll make sure you suffer. This is more like it. More of the Nerubian's blasted mechanisms. I'll have to time this perfectly. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. At last. Another quake? This is more like it. At last. Your pain shall be legendary. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. I'll make sure you suffer. Finally. For the Lich King. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. What is it? This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. At last. You will know endless torment. This is more like it. At last. For the Lich King. I'll make sure you suffer. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. At last. Finally. Faithless coward. At last. Finally. This is more like it. At last. Your pain shall be legendary. No one will disturb the ground. You will know endless torment. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. I must find a way across this strange obstacle. At last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Finally. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers.
Inventory is full.
Finally. Ah, at last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
Anubarak, you made it.
I see now why the Lich King chose you as his champion, Death Knight. Few men could have survived this labyrinth alone.
Tread lightly. Finally. No one orders me around.
Another earthquake. We must hurry, Death Knight.
Something's breaking through. Defensive positions!
The silence.
Tread lightly. This is more like it. Ah, at last. Frostmourne. No one orders me around. Ah, at last. Finally. Tread lightly.
We're running out of time. We must find the exit.
No one.
They're blocking the way to the exit. We'll have to fight our way through them to reach it.
More gold. This might help us later. No one orders me around. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. What is it now? Finally. Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally. This is more like it. What is it now?
Time is fleeting.
Inventory is full.
Indubitably.
No one orders me around. Speak, fool. Finally. No one orders me around.
Now quickly, head through that door. The exit to the surface lies just beyond.
It'll be good to see the sun again.
Remember, Illidan and the true battles still await us in the world above. Hopefully our trek through the Dark Earth bought us the precious time we needed.